Iasu Malagido. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Bob Odenkirk.
Years ago, a man came into my office. He said his name was Mayhew. He wanted one of my clients to lie under oath. He offered me money. I declined. Any lawyer would. That night, as I was leaving my office, I was attacked. Two men threw a sack over my head, they hog-tied me, and they drove me out into the desert. And when they pulled the hood off, I was kneeling in front of an open grave with a gun pointed at my head. That was my introduction to Walter White. From that moment on, there hasn't been a minute that I wasn't afraid. Yeah, I worked for him. I made a lot of money. But that's not why I did it. I did it because I knew what he would do to me if I refused. Over and over, I thought about going to the police. I even thought about talking to Agent Schrader. But I knew that Walter White would kill me wherever I was. And I was right. You look it up. October 4th, 2009. They murdered 10 men inside 3 prisons in the space of 2 minutes. Knifed, throats slashed. A man was burned alive. They even killed one of my colleagues, a lawyer. He was cooperating with the DEA. Daniel Wachsberger. The news said Dan was stabbed 48 times. So yeah, when it all blew up, I ran, but not from the police. From them. Walter White might be dead, but Jesse Pinkman and the others, they're still out there, somewhere.
Damn. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I told you that this actor, the guy that originally, probably the first thing I ever saw him in was a Seinfeld episode, and we'll get to that later, writer would become this much of an influential actor in not one, but 2 hit series, 2 of the best series of all time. That's pretty crazy. I mean, but he's done it. I mean, this guy is such a talented guy, and, it took us quite a while to figure this out. I mean, a lot of people already knew because he's done so much writing over the years and, acting spots here and there. But once he got the role for Saul in Breaking Bad, I mean, regarded as one of the best series of all time, not better than Sopranos. Okay, I will debate that over anything, but pretty good. And then for that to carry over to his own series of that character, the same name, Better Call Saul, that's phenomenal. I mean, you as an actor, writer, you couldn't hope for anything better. And he's done such a great job. I mean, for a guy that's more known over the years for his comedy, I mean, it is just, I'm really proud of him, honestly, because I've always said to this day that a lot of comedians out there, a lot of comedic writers do not get the dues that they're owed. Because a lot of them, always think, they can't graduate from comedy to drama. And, a lot of comedians do try to do that. A lot of comedic actors, and a lot of them have been successful, but, a lot of them are still not taken that seriously. And Bob Odenkirk here has done a phenomenal job with it. So, since Better Call Saul just ended, I would like to talk about him today. So, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to go on Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, because it's free, and who doesn't love free these days? Because like I've said in the past, past podcast, in the next year we will hit a recession, and we're going to have to take everything free that we can. So here we go. Robert John Odenkirk, born October 22nd, 1962, is an American actor, comedian, and filmmaker, best known for his role as Saul Goodman on Breaking Bad and its spin-off Better Call Saul, for which he has received 5 nominations for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Leader Actor in a Drama Series. He is also known for the HBO sketch comedy series Mr. Show with Bob and David, which he co-created and starred in with fellow comic and friend David Cross. From the late 1980s to the 1990s, Odenkirk wrote for television shows Saturday Night Live and The Ben Stiller Show, winning Emmy Award for Outstanding Writing for a Variety Series in 1989 and 1993. He has also wrote for Late Night with Conan O'Brien and Get a Life, and acted in a recurring role as Agent Stevie Grant in The Larry Sanders Show. In the early 2000s, Odenkirk discovered the comedy duo Tim and Eric and produced their television series Tom Goes to the Mayor and Tim and Eric Awesome Show. Great job. He directed 3 films: Melvin Goes to Dinner, Let's Go to Prison, and The Brothers Solomon. He was also an executive producer of sketch comedy show The Birthday Boys, developing the show with the comedy group after seeing their work at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater in Los Angeles. In 2015, he and David Cross reunited along with the rest of the Mr. Show cast for Bob and David on Netflix. Odenkirk co-wrote, produced, and starred in the Netflix original film Girlfriend's Day, which was released in 2017. The success of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul led to acting work in high-profile projects, such as Nebraska, directed by Alexander Payne, Fargo, written and created by Noah Hawley, Ghost, directed by Steven Spielberg, Disney Pixar's Incredibles 2, written and directed by Brad Bird, and Little Women, written and directed by Greta Gerwig. In 2021, Odenkirk starred in the action film Nobody to positive reviews. So from comedy to drama, and now it looks like he's going to be an action star. Him and John Wick are going to probably team up in a movie one day. I'm absolutely for that, for sure. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna kill Bob Odenkirk's cat in the second one, and then they'll team up and animal rescue shit. Who knows? But he is kicking ass, and he's been at it for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this shit did not just happen overnight. Okay, so this is a man who has absolutely earned his success, and I think 30 years ago, if you told him he was going to be the next action star, he would probably even say you're nuts. So, but again, anything in this life is possible. And I found some facts here on elawtalk.com, and I'd like to read them out to you. Why? Because why not? Okay. What else is there to do? I was going to hire a lawyer. I go to the Better Call Saul office here. I mean, it's just packed with, tons of great personalities. So we might as well just read off a couple facts between one another. All right, let's begin. He has 2 Emmys, but not for acting. Between 1980 and 1990, Odenkirk worked as a writer for Saturday Night Live and The Ben Stiller Show, as I mentioned before. He embodied the iconic character Saul Goodman, of course. We all know that, obviously. He did a stellar job as well. From 1987 to 1991, he won an Emmy for his writing on Saturday Night Live. He later received another for Ben Stiller. It is widely appreciated that Odenkirk created the most memorable characters for Saturday Night Live when he was part of that writing team. Absolutely, guys. I mean, you could go down the list of how many great characters he created, but one of the greatest sketches that he will be known for, I would think, and it's also one of the best sketches that Chris Farley will be known for as well. And I found this one clip of him being interviewed by Howard Stern, and you could tell like he had a really good bond between him and Farley. Before, like I looked up a couple clips. I mean, this was months ago when I saw a whole bunch of clips of Farley and Spade together. I mean, those two were Batman and Robin. Obviously, we all know that. And there was a part where they were just like introducing stuff, whatever. And then Bob Odenkirk looked like he was just staying with him in the apartment there. And, of course, at the time, like we probably really didn't know who Bob Odenkirk was yet. And, but everyone knew him, as a writer for Saturday Night Live. And he was able to create or just obviously help with, a lot of sketches on there, including the sketch with him and Patrick Swayze, applying, the last two finalists for Chippendales. For those of you who don't know what Chippendales is, I'm sure all the women know. It is famous for putting on male strippers. So the whole joke is that you got Patrick Swayze there. All the ladies love him, and then you got Chris, who doesn't really quit or really fit the mold there. You know what I mean? So but then keep in mind this was one of Chris Farley's. I think it might have been even his like third sketch that he ever did, and one of his earlier ones. And he looked for advice, and people just told him, look, just go all out, with it, just embrace it, whatever. But Bob Odenkirk, he tells a different kind of spin on it, and I like to play this clip because obviously I can't do it justice. Guys, by now, 240 some shows. I can barely read, so and it's very touching the way Bob tells the story here. So. Enjoy.
You talk about your friendship with Chris Farley.
Yeah.
He was such a naturally likable, funny guy. I didn't know him, but
yeah, but you did know him a little bit, Howard, because everybody who saw him perform got a little piece of his soul. I mean, that was the thing about Chris that was very special and undeniable, and made his potential even so much greater than anything he'd done. That we got to see, or that we can see on tape. I mean, he could have done drama and done a really beautiful job with some parts as time went by if he'd stayed alive, and I know he would have. And but everybody got a piece of his soul like right away, like within 20 seconds of seeing him, and that's just. That's rare, man. And that was true in real life, and it comes through the screen, too. Like, you just saw this guy's heart out, held out for you.
Unbelievable. I mean, it was heartbreaking when you write about the last time you saw him. He was in a limo with, as you say, a bunch of people you wish he hadn't been with. It looked like his hanger-oners.
It was
and he was doing blow, right? Even in the limo. And
yeah, well, I didn't see him doing blow, but the guy in there tried to give us blow earlier in the day. We had a party at a bar, and somebody came in and said, Farley's out back. He wants to say hi to you. And I guess he felt weird about coming in, probably because he was very aware of what he looked like and how people were perceiving him. And he was pretty off the rails. He was way off the rails at this particular event where they were also having a Saturday Night Live reunion event. And I'm sure people had been telling him all weekend, what the hell's going on with you, Chris? Go to rehab right now. You shouldn't be here. Don't go off with those people. I'm sure he was hearing that all weekend. And so he didn't want to come in. So I went out back. This limousine window crack comes down, and Chris looked worse than I'd ever seen him. And we just had a nice chat, and he was out of it a bit. And the worst thing about it all, Howard, was my dad was an alcoholic, and I was around and came to understand alcoholism because of that, even as a teenager. And that feeling of inevitability that I write about was the worst part of it all, because you love this guy, and everybody loved him. I'm not special in that way. And that horrible feeling of like, this goddamn story is just going to play out in the corniest fucking way that even Chris could have told you. Even Chris would have told you, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to die, and I'm going to be 30. By the way, 33 when Belushi died, same age. Like, what the fuck? I think you see a lot of people talk about Chris. I imagine younger people who hear all these stories about Chris wonder, what was this guy like? I mean, he was a silly, funny performer, but I guess I feel like if you watch him, you have to see what we're talking about. All the people who knew him, you have to see that piece of his heart that he brought to everything.
Yeah, you always were critical of that sketch, the famous sketch with Patrick Swayze, where Chris gets up and uses his belly and his body, and the joke basically is he's fat.
That Chippendale sketch is kind of unique. Chris didn't feel like he was on sure footing at SNL yet. That was the first big sort of present moment for him. So if it hadn't been the first one, that might have made it a little less egregious to me, but it was. Maybe it's just me watching it, but I always felt like that moment where he pulls his shirt off, there's almost a hesitation I see in his eyes, and even the smile or the kind of expression on his face, I just get a queasy feeling that he knows a good chunk of this reaction is because of my body shape, and he's loving the laugh, he's loving the reaction that he knows he's going to get because he got it anytime he did that or anything like it. But he's feeling like Chris would walk around saying, I'm going to use words you're not supposed to use. I'm a retard. And fatty fall down, he would say all the time. He would fall down and say fatty fall down. And things like he would refer to himself with derogatory terms. And so just that moment, I just hated that moment. I still do. I wish it hadn't been the first big thing that happened to him. And I don't like that, people pretend that somehow the big laugh from that sketch was the concept of it, which was the judges can't really say why Patrick Swayze is a better Chippendales dancer than Chris Farley. I get it that's the joke, but there are people, the audience is responding to his physical.
In your mind, it's a cheap laugh, and also
it told Chris exactly what he shouldn't be hearing, which is that's why you're funny, because you're stupid and big, and not, that's not why he was lovable and funny and worth watching and worth being around. And it just sent that message. It was a bad exchange, and I've always felt bad about it. I've always felt like it was not the right thing.
Wow. I mean, I've actually seen this clip before, obviously, doing my research, but yeah, man, you could tell like Bob gets, very personal with that, very emotional with that. I mean, it looks like he's almost going to cry, but, I don't blame him. I mean, him and Chris were really close. You could see that. Yeah. First of all, I just want to say this. I'm a huge Chris Farley fan. Like, I grew up as a teenager in the 90s. I mean, nobody was fucking funnier than Chris. I mean, nobody. I mean, like, I was fortunate enough to grow up with guys like Jim Carrey, but at the same time, Farley, man, every scene that he was in Saturday Night Live, like, even if it was like an okay skit or whatever, I mean, he still stole the show, so... Like, I understand what Bob feels, when you're a writer and you write something like that and you're a part of something like that, you want, the writing to speak for itself. Like, you don't want someone to judge you just on your physical appearance and, I could see people, or like why he thought people were laughing at him, instead of with him, but I just want to say this. I love Farley. I mean, and again, like I grew up a fat kid. To be honest with you, I'm still growing up as a fat kid. But I understand. And yeah, when you do something like that, you definitely got to go all out. And To be honest with you, I never really thought about it like that. Like, I mean, like, would a Farley feel like maybe he was kind of forced into doing something like that? But again, it shows like how much Bob cared about his buddy. I mean, it wasn't just about him getting the accolades of, being part of the sketch and stuff like that. I mean, he really cared about the people that he worked with, and their feelings and stuff like that. So I think a real writer will, like if they want to do something for someone, obviously they want to bring the best out of them, but you don't want to, embarrass them at the same time. But I mean, the best thing I could say to that is, I mean, it was just a really funny sketch. And, maybe Farley was pushed into it because, like he was, very early in his career on Saturday Night Live. Like I said, I believe that's only the third sketch that he was in. And it's pretty rare. Like usually you're just, in for a couple spots or whatever. Sometimes it takes like a whole year, maybe even more to actually get, a sketch that's actually kind of devoted to you and your character. So that's pretty rare. And, Farley just said, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to go for it. And that's it. But, I really commend Bob, for just carrying out and, looking out for his friend. I mean, that says a lot about his personality. So I think that's pretty cool. Also says here, he was nominated multiple times for his performance in Better Call Saul. No shit. For the first and second season for Better Call Saul, Odenkirk was nominated for Best Performance by a Lead Actor in a Comedy Show. Yeah, I guess technically it is a... I guess for the most part, Better Call Saul is a comedy show, but it's more, I don't know, that's debatable. Is it more of a comedy? Is it more of a drama? Or then again, Golden Globes, they have that stupid thing where they combine comedy and musical. So the show's definitely not a musical, that's for sure. But yeah, I guess so. But it's still a drama, guys. Come on, let's it's the best of both worlds. That's how I like to think about it. But anyways. In addition, he was also nominated for the same capacity at the Golden Globes and the Screen Actors Guild Award. This year, in an interesting twist, AMC is sending out burner phones to TV Academy members so they can vote for their favorite characters on the show, with Bob Odenkirk leading the list. Okay, now obviously we get the, if you follow Better Call Saul, the whole joke with the whole burner phones and whatever. I've never seen burner phones used this much since The Wire. So, but yeah, it's that's a nice little touch. I like that. Wrote for the Dennis Miller Show. Odenkirk also worked as a writer for the Dennis Miller Show. I just want to say this personally. I always liked Dennis Miller on Saturday Night Live, so I'm sure they build up probably a good rapport from there. I'm just assuming because he was around during that time as well, I think. I always liked Dennis Miller. Dennis Miller was a very cool dude. He always, him and Norm Macdonald always had really good conversations. If you ever got a chance, go on YouTube. You can check out all those great conversations. You could tell he had a lot of respect for him. Norm, rest in peace, of course. One of my faves of all time. And I always liked Dennis Miller on the TV show Boston Public. Now, the show didn't last for that long. I mean, they moved it from Monday to Friday. Friday's the worst night for TV. I don't care what anybody says, okay? But, yeah, he was great on that. Okay, not so much Monday Night Football, but, hey, what are you going to do? Anyways, a weekly talk show that aired 215 episodes from the mid-90s to the early 2000s. While he was part of the team, the show received 5 Emmy Awards and was nominated for 11 in all. There you go, not bad. He almost starred as Michael Scott in The Office. Really? Okay. When NBC, you know what the sad thing is? I did a whole podcast on The Office that lasted over 2 hours. But yeah, again, guys, I'm not perfect. You can tell by the way I read. To remake The Office in an American version. Their first choice to play the rude and awkward boss, Michael Scott, was Paul Giamatti. I don't see that. I love Paul Giamatti, as a fellow Italian. Forget it. He's awesome. I love him. Boy, did they misuse him in that Spider-Man movie. What a fucking tease. But anyways, yeah, no, I don't see that. Yeah. After the refusal, the directors approached Bob Odenkirk, but Steve Carell eventually got the job. After multiple Emmy wins for Carell's performance, we are actually not sorry about that. Well, E-Law talk, neither am I. I think everybody, I think it all worked out for the best. Last 2 seasons of The Office, maybe not so much. But other than that, yeah, pretty good. But Bob Odenkirk has, yeah, I don't know. I don't see that. I don't know. You know, the great thing about Steve Carell and that character, I mean, I already talked about this, obviously, but I just want to say this. I mean, like, he has that thing where, like, he always just wants to be, like, needed or popular, or he wants to be, you know, that popular guy. Like, Odenkirk, I think, would have been a little bit more tougher. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, like, the demeanor, like the way he is, not like, I don't know, in real life, I'm just saying, I mean, he just seems like more, I don't know, like he played more as a hard ass or something like that. I don't know. I'm just saying overall, I think Steve Carell, I think it worked out pretty well. So, just saying. But he settled for a guest role in the final season. That's right. That's right. Where Steve Carell wasn't there. Odenkirk showed up in the final season of The Office. The episode's plot shows Pam going in for an interview with an employer, Bob Odenkirk, who acts eerily similar to her old boss, Michael Scott. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Like I said, guys, I love The Office. You know, I think it was one of the biggest binge shows that people watched during COVID and all that, and people still watch, and maybe they'll bring it back one day. They should. If you bring it back, make sure Steve Carell's part of it, please, for fuck's sakes. Like I said, the last 2 seasons, you know, no disrespect to any of the actors in there, but it's big shoes to fill, man. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tease us like that, and then all of a sudden, you know, just have them at the end there. You know what? That's what she said, and then dancing. Listen, we need more than that. So if you bring back the show, make sure he's back in there. But again, yeah, I'm trying to remember the episode, but yeah, I guess there were similar, you know, traits and whatever. But in the end, you know, Steve Carell killed it. We all know that. And once again, Bob was okay. All right, don't worry about him. He'll be fine. Didn't watch Breaking Bad until season 3. That's like me. I mean, when I first started Breaking Bad, I didn't start watching it. Well, obviously, I watched season 1 and 2, but after when season 3 is about to start, I'm like, yeah, I got to check out this show. And I watched the first 5 minutes there with the, you know, the wagon there or whatever, the, you know, like in the desert. And I was like, oh shit, I'm hooked. But anyways, we'll get into that later. When most of us were busy watching the binge-worthy drama, Bob Odenkirk decided he did not want to stray far from his character by watching him on screen and knowing things Saul Goodman is not supposed to know. In fact, his exact words were that he does not want to know what the fuck is going on. We could call it a kind of method acting if you think about it. Although he did admit later it was because he was rudely interrupted by his kids on his first attempt of watching it. Well, listen, I always say, once you have a kid, write off the next 20 years, okay? Because that's your job, if you're a good father or mother. Just say. But, yeah, you know, you might as well. I heard a story with Mickey Rourke when he did Iron Man 2. He only read for his parts. He didn't want to know anything else that was going on. He wanted to know what his character does, you know? So it's kind of the same thing. Yeah, it's a different kind of method acting. So why not? You know, you're being introduced to the character as soon as he walks in the office there. You don't know his back history. It's going to be more of a surprise. I mean, eventually you'll probably find out. People will tell you, because, you know, listen, there's a lot of fucking people out there that still don't know the difference between fiction and, you know, reality. But, you know, that's their problem. But what are you going to do? But yeah, that's a cool little way. And again, it worked out just fine. Did minor film and TV roles. The actor's first roles were minor in films such as The Cable Guy. Really? Wow, okay. Can't Stop Dancing, A Monkey Bone, and Wayne's World 2. Really? Oh, shit. He also did small cameos and feature roles in several popular comedic TV shows such as The Office, How I Met Your Mother, Everybody Loves Raymond, Arrested Development, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, among many more, which we will get to in a little while. Don't worry, it's all good. He starred in 2 Steven Spielberg films. You know how lucky you are to work with Steven Spielberg even once? He got 2, man. 2. Deuce. Jesus. After Breaking Bad's huge success, Odenkirk started getting bigger roles. One of the most notable accomplishments was being cast in Steven Spielberg's political thriller, The Post, and another of his films titled The Papers that also featured Tom Hanks and his long-term friend, David Cross. There you go. You know you're doing well if you're working with Steven Spielberg. That's it. He directed Let's Go to Prison. Bob Odenkirk was the director of Let's Go to Prison, a 2006 comedy film that features Dax Shepard, Will Arnett, and Chi McBride. And it's funny, too, that I mentioned before Boston Public, because Chi McBride was fucking awesome in that as the principal. I remember one of the first roles I ever saw him in was... what's the movie with Eddie Murphy? The Distinguished Gentleman, which a lot of people always shit on. I don't know why. And then back then he went by just Chi. He was also, I think, the dishwasher in the movie Waiting. I was one of the 5 people that saw it in theaters, but I don't give a fuck. I thought it was good. I even saw the one that went straight to video, Still Waiting. So booyah. The movie earned. I'm just full of useless, sometimes both information. Earned $4.6 million in gross revenue and a sad 15% all-critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. Fuck Rotten Tomatoes. It was the second theatrically released film that Odenkirk directed, the first being The Brothers Solomon. All right, well, there you go. Have you ever directed a film? There you go. He has a history with Ben Stiller and Michael McKean, who, again, is an awesome actor. I mean, they're both awesome actors. I'm going to get into more of him and the relationship they had on Better Call Saul there, which is fucking awesome. But anyways, Odenkirk was friends with Ben Stiller even before he entered the TV industry, which cleared his path to become one of the main writers of the show. Another one of his friends and inspirations is Michael McKean, who appears in Better Call Saul as Jimmy's older brother, Chuck, who is a far more successful lawyer. Again, we'll get more into that in just a little bit. Primary inspiration comes from Mighty Python. He's got good taste. The simple comedy of the Mighty Python franchise first inspired a young Odenkirk to become a comedian. He told The Guardian that it became his religion when he was about 10 years old, and that it helped him through very tough times by speaking to him. He decided that he wanted to tell the world his vision through sketch comedy as well. You know what? That makes a lot of sense, because if you watch Mr. Show, it is very... Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because there's a lot of... again, I'll get into it in a little bit, but it is a little off at times, and it does seem a little Mighty Python-ish, so I can definitely see that for sure. His first meeting with David Cross did not go well. David Cross has been Bob Odenkirk's close friend, and they worked on several projects together over the years. Their first meeting, however, was nothing short of embarrassing. David Cross was working as a comedian in LA when one boring afternoon, he asked fellow stand-up artist Janine Garofalo if she knew anyone who played basketball. Garofalo took him to Odenkirk's house, who was a Saturday Night Live writer at the time, and introduced them before asking if he wanted to play. Odenkirk said no. Well, hey, listen, you know, when you form a fine-tuned basketball team, you know, that one person could make a difference, or they could totally throw off the shit. You don't know. You don't know. Who knows? You never know. But in the end, again, it all worked out. By the way, Cross, I mean, you were fucking awesome on Arrested Development. Great character. He co-created a sketch comedy program. With David Cross as his partner and co-writer, Odenkirk wrote a comedy show titled Mr. Show with Bob and David. that aired on HBO from 1995 to 1998. The show was a sketch comedy that was performed in front of a live audience. Other comedians often appeared as cast members and writers, including Sarah Silverman and Jack Black. I was going to save this for later, but I might as well just say it now since they mentioned it. Jack Black, that one episode he's on specifically, they're doing something in a, I forgot, I saw it a while ago, like something in a barn or something. Holy shit, it is fucking hilarious. I mean, they had some good guest stars on there for sure. It was a really good show. But again, I'll get more into it in a little bit. He got in trouble for using his grandfather's picture in a joke. Who hasn't? In one episode of Mr. Show with Bob and David, a picture of an old man was required. Odenkirk decided it would be okay to use a picture of his dead grandfather in the show as the butt of the joke. And as it turned out, some of his family members were very upset about it. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. You know, a lot of people don't get jokes, you know, but at the same time, yeah, you know, family's family. You know, you're like, oh, how dare you desecrate the grandfather or whatever. We don't like the way you did it. And I could see that, you know, family's very tricky thing for sure. Family's weird, man. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like, even sometimes, like, pictures of your family doesn't even have to be your family. I mean, listen, I'll tell you guys a short story. This has nothing to do with Bob Odenkirk, but more Columbo. You'll see in a second. But anyways, go over to my parents' house one day. I'm in the basement there. We're just chilling. For some reason, my dad paid like over $10,000 for a flat screen TV. It was one of those, like, it was the last right before it became flat screens, and my mom was pissed at him. We were all just mad at him. I don't know. I think he did it out of spite or something. But anyways, so I go down there, and there's nothing really on this glass table. There's a couple of snacks and whatever. My mom has that old glass, that looks, there's a shape of fruit and whatever from like 1972. It's very valuable now. I mean, according to her, but it looks nice. But anyways, there was one picture on there, and I'm looking at the picture, and obviously I can describe it, but it wasn't any picture of a friends or family, nothing like that. And hand to God, okay, may God strike me down right now. It was a black and white picture, ironically, because of the last couple episodes of Better Call Saul, though. We'll get into that in a little bit. Black and white picture of Peter Falk. And it was when he was older. It wasn't like him with Columbo, just chilling in the whatever. It was literally a picture, the thinking man pose where he's got his fist at his, head, whatever. So I'm sure you can Google it, a picture of Peter Falk, black and white, and it's from, like, let's say the shoulders up, and he's got his fist on his head, and he's got kind of like a, face, like pissed off. His eyes are closed. And I'm looking, I'm like, I've never seen this picture before. I didn't know my dad was a Columbo fan. I had no idea. I guess everybody was at that part of that generation, whatever. This is obviously before Magnum PI, and you could, have a mustache and wear a cool Hawaiian shirt and fighting crime. But anyways, and then I go to my dad, like, Dad, is that a picture of Columbo? And he's like, yeah. I go, why do you have a picture of Columbo pissed off, like on the table? And I swear to God, he goes, because that's how I feel like all the time. And anybody that knows my dad probably thinks I'm just bullshitting, because my dad's a nice guy and everything. And, like, he never, like, maybe I caught him in a mood or something. I mean, maybe he just spoke to my mom or something. But, I'm like, all right. And then we went to watch a movie, and then we went on with the rest of our lives. And the next time I went there, the picture was gone. Never brought it up again. It's just one of those things, just whatever. Again, this has nothing to do with Bob. But the point is, dealing with family is a very tricky subject. And you got to watch what pictures you use to prove your point. That's all. Moving on. Odenkirk's brother is a writer on The Simpsons. Hopefully he wrote the first 10 seasons. Please let it be the first 10 seasons. Please let it be the first 10 seasons. Bob Odenkirk's younger brother, Bill Odenkirk, is a co-executive producer on the animated TV series The Simpsons. Bill was also on the writing team of Mr. Show and worked on the film sci-fi series Futurama. Okay, cool. I'm assuming he's like his brother. He wrote, the earlier episodes. Okay, remember, Conan, was part of that whole season 2 to 5 thing. Again, they all know each other, him, Conan, and all that. So I'm assuming it was part of that group. Please let it be part of that group. Please, 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 please. Monorail. Attended 3 years of college. Odenkirk, that's one more than, or no, one, two, no, it's way more than me. Odenkirk attended Naperville North High School and Marquette, how do you say that? I don't know. Again, that proves I didn't go to school. University in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, then transferred to Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, Illinois. He says, honing his sketch writing and performance skills with live shows on both college radio stations. Cool. Why not? Yeah, back in the day, man, I mean, that was the shit. Like, to be on like a cool radio station, now everyone's, now everyone just has a podcast. Some people just have a podcast that they just record into their phone and like maybe just a few people listen. I mean, how sad is that, right? Anyways, after 3 years of college, Odenkirk decided to try writing and improv in Chicago. That's the place to do it, man. There you go. Again, the whole improv, Second City thing, Sir Farley was. There you go. You met a lot of cool people, man, in improv. Trust me, when I went to Second City in Toronto, oh, Jesus, it's a mixed bag of nuts, man. Trust me. I think I said this before. I don't know, like there's one guy, he was really funny, but he seemed kind of a little dark. I don't know. You'd have to talk to him, whatever, right? But like one day I'm like, if I see this guy, he's famous for being a stand-up, cool. But I could also see him, being on the news, killing 15 people. So I don't know. Like you never know, right? Shit happens. Hope he's doing well. Actually, it's funny is I tried to quit Facebook, and then at one point he told me, he's like, "You'll be back." And technically I am back, but I'm not. I don't know. It's not like a big comeback like John Wick or nothing. But it's like I just like Facebook marketing. I don't know. You get cool deals on Mario toys. Moving on. Parents divorce due to his father's alcoholism. Bob had a difficult childhood dealing with his parents' divorce when he was only 3 years old. He revealed in an interview that his dad drank booze for a living, and his mother was the one who worked hard to keep them fed and alive. Oof, that's tough, man. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, on one side of my family there, we got a few alcoholics. All right, it's me personally. I mean, I know a lot of people don't believe me, whatever, but I don't know. Nowadays, you grow up, you're by yourself, you're 40. I don't know. Every day is like a vacation for me. So I don't know. I don't have to escape with drinking. I mean, I like to drink, once a week, just to go out and have a good time. But yeah, some people just takes over, and the rest of the family's got to pick up the slack. So it sucks, man. But again, it's. I mean, the irony is it's kind of a good motivator, but at the same time, you think to yourself, like, shit, like, is this the cost or whatever? And you think, oh, is it my fault because he drinks or whatever? I'm not saying that Bob thought this. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people, think that if they have an alcohol person in their family, whatever, it's a strain for everybody in the end, like it affects everything. It says here, and he does not drink. Disillusioned by his father's debilitating alcoholism, Odenkirk decided at a very young age that he wants to stay away as far away from alcohol as possible. He does not drink hard liquor, whether in parties or social gatherings. There you go. So, that's what usually happens. I don't know. You grow up with people that drink, you're like, fuck it, I don't want to drink. It's the same thing with, you grow up with someone who like smokes like a chimney, I mean, I don't know. You don't want to smoke after that. I mean, you're inhaled like fucking 10,000 packs by the time you're 15, so it's not worth it. So you can't blame him. And I don't know, judging by everything that he's wrote, it's pretty clear that he's got a strong will to just, keep going forward and just kick ass, and I don't know. He seems like he got a pretty busy schedule. I don't think he's got time to drink anyway, like if he wanted to. So I don't know. It said just hard liquor. Maybe he has a few beers, whatever, What are you going to do? He is the second oldest of 7 siblings. Holy shit. He says it was wonderful having so many sisters and brothers, and that he loved being in charge of his own little world. Join the club, man. Join the club. Married to Naomi Yom Tov. Please don't kick my ass like you did in Everyone and Nobody there. The couple has been married for 15 years, and Naomi admits to having had a crush on Odenkirk a year and a half before actually meeting him. She spoke to Playboy magazine about it and said that he seemed disinterested, but when they actually met, they immediately hit it off. The couple now has 2 children, aged 19 and 21, respectively. As opposed to what? Non-respectively? I don't know. Like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know. The point is, that is pretty cool. And, yeah, I don't know, 15 years for Hollywood marriage. That's, I don't know, what was that, 140 normal, I guess? So that's pretty good, Yeah. Seems pretty chill. Nice. Cool. Breaking Bad writers used to joke about making a spin-off. I see. The writers had so much fun putting words in Saul Goodman's mouth that it became a running joke that they would create a spin-off featuring the character as a lead. When a particularly good line came up, they would say, when we're doing the Saul Goodman show, we'll be able to, and the rest is history. More on that in just a bit. It gives subtle nods to its predecessor. I fucked up that word, didn't I? There are so many Easter eggs hidden in Better Call Saul that the director's eye for detail has to be commended. While some references are for novelty only, others add deeper meaning to the events of the forerunning show. There are several incidences where we see Saul Goodman learning his cheap tricks from other people in the prequel to emphasize that 2 shows are parts of the same universe and the same franchise. Better Call Saul even subtly incorporates the Breaking Bad theme song. That is true. I did catch that. I don't catch a lot of things in life, but I did catch that one. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's very true. Very true. They always put little things in there, because obviously, it's, a prequel to Breaking Bad, and, you got to make some references, but, don't make it all about that. So it's good the way they do it. The visuals of the show are inspired by Stanley Kubrick. Absolutely. Which is not a bad thing, by the way. I'm just saying, you can tell the way they do it. It is pretty cool. But anyways, while Breaking Bad was shot in 35 millimeter with a grainy texture, Better Call Saul uses 4K digital technology. This gives the picture crispness and a cinematic effect that is reminiscent of Stanley Kubrick's cinematic style. The director, Vince Gilligan, admitted that he uses Kubrick's rule when he tries to always make the first image the most striking this a viewer would see. He also uses music cues in the same way. Very true. Very true. Like, how many episodes would you watch with Better Call Saul? It just starts him off at good old Cinnabon, and if you live in Toronto like I do, if you ever go to Eglinton Station, you will get punched in the face with the smell of Cinnabon as soon as you get off there. But, just in the stores and like underneath the subway there. Beautiful. But anyways, yeah, it starts you off right there, gives you the idea that he's working hard and, he's now in a different place in his life. And yeah, it really sucks you in there, like The Machine, it's like the same thing over and over and over again, it puts you in that mindset, he does a great job with it, man. And, Bob Odenkirk, I mean, he was so good in this show. But, we mentioned, before the website and me, he's done a lot of stuff, man. And I go on IMDb here because fuck Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. As I mentioned before in the last podcast, 8.5 out of 10 for Top Gun Maverick. I mean, IMDb, I'm disappointed in you, but Paramount, it's the same theater or production, whatever, and it's owned by Rotten Tomatoes. That's a whole fucking mess. But the point is, I stick to IMDb. That's all. But before I read off all the jobs, acting gigs that Bob has done here, I would just like to read off all the writing credits, okay? Because there's a shit ton, and I usually don't do this. I mentioned already a few before, but I mean, this has to be known. I mean, again, he started writing for major shows since 1988, and the first one he ever did was a show called Cableville, USA. Okay, since then he's done Get a Life, The Dennis Miller Show, Late Night with Conan O'Brien, Saturday Night Live, The Ben Stiller Show, The Dana Carvey Show, Dr. Katz, Professional Therapist, Mr. Show with Bob and David, The Jenny McCarthy Show, for some reason. Okay, hey, look, a paycheck's a paycheck. Saturday Night Live, The Best of Phil Hartman, various other stuff with Bob and David, The Incredible Fantastic News Report, more Saturday Night Live stuff with The Best of Adam Sandler, The Best of Chris Farley, who's part of that. The Near Future, Tenacious D, Run Ronnie Run, Next, Tenacious D, The Complete Masterworks, the Frank International Film Festival, The Big Wide World of Carl LeMake. I think I said that right. The Pity Card, Tom Goes to the Mayor, Derek and Simon, The Show, Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. Face to Bush, David Situation, Adam TV, Atom, Up and At Them. American Contestant with Bob Odenkirk. Check it out with Dr. Steve There you go. Untitled Andre Highland Project. Let's do this. Movie 43. I don't know. I like to think everybody lost in that one. The Birthday Boys accept IFC's offer. The Birthday Boys. Trip Tank with Bob and David. Girlfriend's Day. Summer of Argyle. And coming up soon, Guru Nation. So 41 writer credits. I mean, that is fucking crazy, man. Absolutely crazy, And I was just thinking about this as I was reading the last couple facts. And, they're saying, how did Bob get to this point? Now he's like a, dramatic actor over the years. And now he's an action star. I mean, think about it. The guy's been writing for people since, yay high. You know what I mean? Like, how many people has he come across in his line of work the last, 30 plus years? I mean, you don't think that rubs off? I mean, you don't see how people act behind the scenes, like during scenes, like in action. I mean, like, you don't think you feed off that? You don't think you learn, like, once it's your turn up to bat, like you learn how to like really act and, you perfect your skills in that. And, like at this point, Bob's a chameleon. I mean, he's just, feeding off of a lot of other people. I don't mean that bad way, but like he's picking up a lot of shit along the way. And that's what you do when you're in this business. I mean, like you want to get better, as everything, a producer, director, writer, and obviously an actor. So like, it's no wonder why he's kicking ass in acting. He's such a great dramatic actor. I mean, he's been like around dramatic people all his life. So why wouldn't he be a good actor himself, But like I said before, it all started with the very first thing he did, a show called Cableville, USA. It's a TV series he did, and he was in 2 episodes. It ran from 1987 to 1988. And ladies and gentlemen, I have never heard of this. It says here, the Duck Logic Comedy Troupe presents a sketch comedy show about the antics in Cableville, the fictitious. Sorry. You know what? I'm getting a sip of water here. Just excuse me, please. It's Sprite, whatever. The point is, it's diet. Don't worry, I'm fine. Last city in America to get cable. Okay. It doesn't even have a rating. Shit. And jeez. When you're on IMDb, ladies and gentlemen, you have, a picture of the actor or people that are in it. Out of the 10 people that they list as the main people here, Bob Odenkirk is the only person that has a picture in his profile. So, all right, so there you go. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Somebody tell me if I should check this out or not. It's, I don't know. Should I? Should I not? It's up to you. What are you going to do? But anyways, hey, look, you got to start somewhere. Then he showed up on some episodes of Saturday Night Live, everything from an audience member to an NBC page, bad idea jeans guy. Yeah, so he popped in here and there, but we all know, he was a kick-ass writer. We all know that. I mean, listen, it's a huge honor to write for Saturday Night Live. Even I know that. I mean, that's a place where you really got to fight for a lot of your ideas, and a lot of his ideas, obviously went through, and we all know he killed it for the 3 years he was there. Great job there. I mean, it's a huge honor to do that. I don't know. According to Keaton Ivory Thompson, I don't know. He's kind of hinting that the show might end at the 50th season, but I hope it doesn't. But at the same time, 50 years is a hell of a run for a TV show. So Bob Odenkirk should be really happy and proud of himself that he was part of that Saturday Night Live history, for sure. Then he showed up in a show called The Jackie Thomas Show. I don't know that one. I don't know. Then he showed up in an episode of Roseanne. That's cool. Why not? I know Roseanne, even to this day is still very, controversial, whatever. But, it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Roseanne was a hell of a show. So, that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Then he showed up in Wayne's World 2. He was a concert nerd. I don't remember that. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we all know Wayne's World 1 was the better one, but still, I still like Wayne's World 2. But, again, Mike, we need you to do that third one. Make it the official trilogy, okay? They did it years later with Bill and Ted. Okay, we can do it with Wayne's World. Come on. Why not? Then he showed up in an episode of Tom. Ironically, he played a character named, maybe not named after his best buddy there, David. I don't know. Just trying to link things together, folks. I don't know. Then he was in a movie called Clean Slate. He played a cop. I don't know. Ben Stiller's show. Recently, I would say, what was it? It had to be like maybe 6 months ago. I watched the show for the first time since it aired. It did not run for that long, but really funny show, guys. And yeah, he was a part of that as well. He showed up in a few episodes as well. The writer as well. We all know that. I should do a podcast about Ben Stiller for sure. But I will say this. I don't see why Ben Stiller should not do another season of the show. And I get it. He's doing, he's busy directing stuff nowadays, really kicking ass in that. But I don't know. I think the fans would love to see, another Ben Stiller season, just one, and just see where it goes. Maybe put it on, include a motorcycle. Why not? Just do it just for shits and gigs. I don't know. Have a Netflix deal. Whatever. Everybody's doing it, So, but seriously, I would love to see one more season, and you can get a lot of people on there, and I don't know. Why not? That's just me. So, The Truth About Cats and Dogs. He was a bookstore man. Yeah, I remember that movie. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it was more of a date movie, whatever. But yeah, The Cable Guy. Yeah, he was in that. He was Steven's brother. Was he really? Oh shit. Okay. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I love Jim Carrey. I talked about this in my Jim Carrey podcast. When I was younger, I thought he couldn't miss. I watched this movie years later. It's It's not good. I'm just being honest. Ben Stiller, I love you. You know, I know, you know, put a lot into it, but I don't know, man. I just wasn't feeling it. I don't know, you know. And I did mention before, actually, we were talking about Chris Farley before. I did mention this, I think, before, that I think originally they did want Chris Farley to play the Jim Carrey role, but I think there was a scheduling conflict there, and it just didn't work out. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's, if you like Cable Guy, it's up to you. I don't know. It's your call. I'm gonna stick with Dumb and Dumber. That's it. Waiting for Guffman. He was a caped man at auditions. Okay. Talked about Dr. Katz before, professional therapist. That was the cartoon. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was all I don't know. They're all jittery for some reason. I don't know. Like the animators, I don't know. Couldn't hold the pencil right or something. They just kept shaking. I don't know. But it was a funny cartoon. I do remember that. They had a lot of funny people on there. I remember. I think Dave Chappelle even showed up on an episode of that one. Yeah, that was good. Seinfeld. Okay, so of course, classic TV show. We all know what Seinfeld is. Okay, but yeah, they did mention at one point that a lot of people from Breaking Bad were on. We're on Seinfeld. The wife was on there. He was on there. A couple other people I forgot. Anyways, but this is a good episode. This was him where Elaine, I think, got dumber for not having sex, and then George got smarter for. Oh no! Sorry, George got smarter for not having sex, and then Elaine got stupider for not having sex. Yeah, so, right? Yeah. I'm just stupid in general. But the point is, he was really good in that. And I remember at one point he said that, once he passed, he was trying to be a doctor, and once he passed his bar exam, he would break up with whoever he was going out with at the time. That's the dream of being a doctor or something. And he was pretty good in that. So yeah, great. I mean, obviously Seinfeld speaks for itself. Great series, one of the best, funniest shows of all time. Then he was in a movie called Hacks. No, I don't remember that one. News Radio, very underrated sitcom. Very underrated. He was in a couple episodes of that. Great cast of people. Larry Sanders Show. One of the, again, man, he's been in some classic comedic shows, man. I mean, if you're an actor coming up, I mean, you would kill to just be in one of these. I mean, he was in all of them. But yeah, Larry Sanders Show, Gary Shandling, rest in peace, man. Apatow was behind the scenes there as well. It speaks for itself. Man, what a great show. It's so funny too. I think I mentioned this before when I was going, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. I was going through some panic attacks, in the mid 2010s there, and I just need some shows to watch, just something to keep my mind at ease and just keep me laughing and whatever. And this was one of them. I mean, this was I always heard about this show, and I never watched it. And I said, fuck it. That was a good time as any to watch it. And it just, so many fucking funny people, man. Gary Shandling, Jeffrey Tambor, Rip Torn, Janine Garofalo, Scott Thompson, Jeremy Piven. It's so funny with Rip Torn. I swear to God, guys, today I haven't watched Freddy Got Fingered since it came out in 2001 for some stupid reason. I woke up just dopey today, and I was like, you know what? Let me just check out this movie. It's even worse than I thought. I mean, I love Tom Green, don't get me wrong, but I do have to say Rip Torn was pretty funny in it, and I always like Rip Torn. I mean, but poor Rip Torn, he's got to go from working with Paul Newman to Tom Green, and again, I'm not shitting on Tom Green, don't get me wrong. It's such a bad movie. I'm sorry, I don't know, but the point is, this is a really, really funny show. They always had tons of great cameos in it. And if you ever want to watch a show and the way they do cameo, because a lot of people will just throw in a person here and there, hey, I'm, but the Larry Sanders Show did such a great job with their cameos, because obviously he's hosting a late night TV show on the show, but they did it so well. I mean, that's the way you do cameos for sure. I mean, technically it's not a cameo, it's just guest spot or whatever, but you know what I mean. But I mean, they did such a great job with this show. It's awesome. So Yeah, again, he was part of that. I mean, fuck, this is what a career so far. We're not even halfway done here. He also was in Mr. Show and the incredible, fantastical news report. That was a TV movie he did for Mr. Show and thing. We'll get into that in a little bit. I don't know why they don't show it here yet. But anyways, whatever. He's in a movie called Can't Stop Dancing. He was in an episode of Just Shoot Me. Another underrated show. I always liked that show. Spade always made me laugh. I mean, I grew up with Saturday Night Live, and everybody from the early '90s there. Spade, Farley, Sandler, Kevin Nealon, all Mike Myers, all those dudes. I love all those guys. Third Rock from the Sun, good show as well. I remember they had a point where they were giving out like 3D shades or something in those with those chocolate bars. I don't know. Does anybody else remember that or no? I don't know. Everything else comes back to food with me. The Independent, that was a movie he did. I got nothing there. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Again, he's part of all these great shows, man. Curb Your Enthusiasm is one of these shows today. Still makes me laugh out loud. Larry David, you are a fucking god. I love you, man. You're a genius. I love you. I don't care if you can't pronounce Aria. Fuck, even I can't say it. Aria Grande. Shit. You got to see that clip of him on YouTube. Try to say it. He can't say it. Fucking hilarious. But anyways, a TV Funhouse, of course, with that's part of the whole Saturday Night Live thing. There go my show. He was part of Ed, the TV series. Monkey Bone. Okay. Nobody's perfect. Everybody Loves Raymond. Oh yeah, that's right. He was in that. Yeah, I forgot about that. See, he's showing up in all these kick-ass shows, man. Holy fuck! Like, you know how many connections this guy has? Forget, like, and again, like, it shows, like, like how much he's learned from the business and all these great connects, and just everything he's absorbing. I mean, this is fucking. I mean, no wonder he's fucking awesome. It's so cool, man. Dr. Doolittle 2. Quick little voiceover in that. Sure, why not? Easy paycheck. The Andy Dick Show, which I totally forgot he had a show. I heard at one point Andy Dick was living in like a shed and behind his house or some shit. I hope that's not true, but I don't know. Whatever. He was funny in Road Trip and the Old School. There we go. Run, Ronnie, Run. I didn't see that one. Next is a TV movie he did. Melvin Goes to Dinner. No. Unfortunately, I'm seeing all the TV shows he's in. Nothing to do with the movie. Sorry, so far. Less Than Perfect, TV series he did. Futurama. Futurama speaks for itself. The co-creator of The Simpsons, whatever. Good little show they did. Arrested Development. Of course he's on an episode. His buddy's on there the full time. You don't think your buddy's going to help you get on a show or, a couple episodes or one episode? Why not? That's what good buddies do. There you go. Arrested Development, awesome show. I mean, me personally, I feel the first 2 seasons are the best ones. Third was okay. The ones after that, I mean, I don't know. Like, they did that one season where every character had their own episode, but a lot of people complain that, I mean, what made the show funny is that they're all together interacting. You know what I mean? And I kind of agree with that. And they did that the next season, so they corrected that one. But overall, a great show. Ron Howard, you're fucking awesome. You're just, forget it, I mean, you made a great movie with the Fonz and Michael Keaton, Night Shift. Oh, dude, that's a great movie. If you've never seen that movie, go see it. Trust me. The Big Wide World of Carl. Again, I gotta say this. Whatever. Laemke. You figure it out. Nerd Hunter 3004, Master Geek. How much of a master geek do you have to be the master in a movie called Nerd Hunter 3004? Okay, I definitely gotta check out that. Oh, it's just a short. Still checking it out, I don't care. Showed up in the TV series Joey. Yeah, we all know what happened there. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I'm telling you, the next generation of cartoons, you got to be on ecstasy or Molly or whatever the fuck you guys call it nowadays to enjoy some cartoons. It's too trippy. Talking meatballs. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know whether to take offense as an Italian or. Anyways, My Fat Independent Movie, which I'm assuming he's making fun of My Fat Greek Wedding. Okay, we get it. Cake Boy Video. Crank Yankers. Why not make a couple prank phone calls in Vegas? This way they can't book you. Make a TV show out of it. Boom. Jimmy Kimmel, I love you. I heard you got COVID, but I hope you feel better, buddy. Danny Rowan, first-time director. He's in that. Tim and Eric, the podcast. It's a podcast. Relative Strangers. Yeah, he's in that. Yeah, again, sorry. I feel like every time he's in a movie, I got nothing. The TV, no problem. The movies is, but he corrected that later. Don't worry. Tom Goes to the Mayor, TV show he did. Same with Freak Show TV series. Let's Go to Prison. Okay, so he directed that one. I talked about that before. I totally forgot he directed this one. This one was okay. I'm not gonna lie. When Chi McBride there makes some booze in the toilet, I thought that was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the movie has its moments or whatever. It's an okay movie. It's nothing, oh, holy shit, I mean, it's not Animal House, but, it's not movie 43 either. So what are you going to do? But it's a decent little movie. I liked it. I'm not direct anymore. Sorry, Derek and Simon, the show. I was in that for a little bit. The Brothers Solomon, I've heard of this movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't know he directed it. I never saw it. Maybe we'll check it out. Didn't get the best reviews, but yeah, you never know. The Sarah Silverman Program TV series, hit and miss here and there, but I thought it was okay. I like her stand-up. I think her stand-up is where she really kills it. I thought the show was okay, but her stand-up is where she really shines, honestly. The Red Sandwich Christmas Hour, delicious. He was in an episode of Weeds, which I totally forgot, which I heard they're going to bring back. I don't know if that's true, but like Amazon is going to pick it up, and which makes sense because the show's been on for 10 years, and they went 10 years into the future, which, by the way, is one of the best series finale shows I've ever seen. It does not get talked about a lot. They did a smart thing. They went 10 years into the future for the last episode. I thought it was really well done. I mean, because the first couple seasons are really good, and then the third season, and then the fourth was good, and then a lot of after that, it's like hit and miss with the show. Some episodes were good, some episodes, whatever. But I like to see what they can do if they bring it back. Why not? I don't know. I just assumed they'd run a dispensary or something. So it's legal now. Fuck it. I do it in Canada. I don't know. We don't give a shit up here. Rules of Engagement. TV series he did. Same thing with The Good Family, Goode. Another TV series, Glenn Martin, DDS. Wow, a lot of TV. Holy shit. The Big Dog is a short he did. Life at Times of Tim. Funny to Die Presents, of course. Will Ferrell. There you go. Adam McKay. I think they're both behind that website. So far so good. Operation Endgame. No, didn't see that one. Entourage, TV series, good little series. Shitty movie. Okay, I think everybody involved can even amend that. But I heard again, they're going to bring back the show. So let's see if we can redeem ourselves there. Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. Crimbus Special, which could be a combination of Crimbus and Columbus Day, maybe. I don't know. Morning Prayer with Scoot and Bear, or Scott, Skott. How would you say that? I don't know. Team Spitz, never mind. Son of Morning is a movie he did. Same with Take Me Home Tonight. Take me home tonight. Better call Saul. John Benjamin Has a Van. Of course he does. Down by the river. Flight of the Griffin. Let's Do This TV movie. Breaking Bad original minisodes. I don't know what that is. Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie. American Dad. A couple voices in that. Why not? The Giant Mechanical Man. Holy shit, he's got a hell of a resume. A Belly Full of Anger. I'm sure it's about Italians. NTSF, SD, SUV. Oh, jeez. How I Met Your Mother. Showed up in a couple of those. Why not? Worst series finale ever. Bob's Burgers. I like that show sometimes. The League. Funny show. The Spectacular Now. Ass Backwards. The Office, like I mentioned before. Nebraska. Underrated movie. If you ever have the chance, see this movie. It's got Will Forte in it. It's a comedy, but it's kind of like a dramatic comedy. You know what I mean? Like it's really good. It's about, as far as I remember, it's about his dad, and he thinks he won like those. Oh, you just won $1 million through the sweepstakes or whatever. But it's I'm not gonna give anything away. I mean, maybe he won, maybe he didn't. I don't know. But check it out. Underrated movie. Not a lot of people have heard about it, but it is a good movie. Chicks and Guns, Behind the Scenes. Oh, jeez. Okay. Only in America. Dealing with Idiots. I hear you. Ghost Girls, spelled GHIRLS. Yeah, I see what they did there. Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Did a Saul segment, Joking Bad. I get it. Okay. So here we go, finally. Let's talk about this for just a little bit. Okay? Because everyone, has... I'm sure there's podcasts out there that are just devoted to the show and, seasons and all that. Breaking Bad. And he played a little character named Saul Goodman. Okay. So, currently, right now, on IMDb, Breaking Bad has a rating of 9.5 out of 10. Ladies and gentlemen, I love Breaking Bad. Don't get me wrong. It is not better than Sopranos. I don't care what anybody says. Okay? And I will just say this right off the bat. Vince Gilligan has been quoted as saying these exact words. If there was no Tony Soprano, there would be no Walter White. Okay. So, all you Breaking Bad nerds out there, keep that in mind. Okay? Because keep in mind, Sopranos just ended, and this is where Breaking Bad picked up right after. Okay? So, Tony Soprano paved the way for Walter White. And again, I'm not trying to take away anything from this show or, I watched every episode too. Okay? I remember that last episode aired. We all worked a few days later, because we were just all soaking it in, whatever, I back then I didn't work as much, as long story. The point is, I work hard now. The point is, it was the talk of, the town for the next week. Okay, we're all talking about, is Walter White really dead? What the hell, happened to Jesse? Could this happen? Could something else go different? Blah, 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 whatever. Okay, so we all know this. All right, everybody had their own little moment there with Walter White there, and I'm going to say this. Okay, overall, what makes the character Walter White so great, and I thought about this for the last couple of days before I did this podcast, is that you have all these powerful figures in movies, TV shows, perfect example like Tony Soprano, But what made Walter White so great is that in the end, this guy was nothing but a fucking nerd. That's all he was. That's it. He was a guy that knew he was going to die, and he thought of a way, with his skills, with his, science skills, whatever, how to provide for his family for the next, whatever years to come. Okay? But he had to play the role as a tough motherfucker. Like scenes, like I am the danger and what's my name. He has to prove to all these people that he really is this tough motherfucker. And Bryan Cranston, I tell you, he played this role just excellent. Like he I think they wanted who they wanted, Matthew Broderick before this, and John Cusack, and who knows? Maybe these guys could have pulled it off, but it's you can't picture anybody else playing him but Bryan Cranston. And before this, we basically knew this guy from Malcolm in the Middle. A couple roles here and there, whatever. He even had that little role in Little Miss Sunshine. A lot of people forget that. I know I did, but Yeah, I mean, he did such a great job with this role. I mean, he played it to a T, and you could tell there's scenes where he really, he just brings it. But you can tell like something will go down, and like he'll have to like he'll have a worried face on him, and he'll just like back off. But he has to keep that face. And my point is like, you see a lot of these shows that have this tough guy, and these guys are psychos, sociopaths, all that. Bryan Cranston wasn't really that crazy. This is my opinion. I don't think he was that. I mean, he did crazy things, yes, but was he a crazy person? No. I think he just got lost in that world. And that's what made that character so well, is that he was just a normal dude, a normal nerdy, science teacher that just wanted to do right for his family. There you go. And Aaron Paul, who played J.C. Pinkman, did a phenomenal job. I remember in, I think it was season 3, he won the Emmy for. And I remember that season specifically. He was really good. Really good. This is a guy who started off as a contestant on The Price is Right. Yes, folks, it is true. You can go on YouTube. You can see a clip of him going nuts. I would. Listen, I'm the type of person. If I was a contestant on The Price is Right, that's my goal. I'm gone from this earth. I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? So. But he did such a great job in this role as well. Apparently, his role was only supposed to last for 1 season. They were supposed to kill him off. They liked him so much, they kept him on there. Anna Gunn, like I mentioned before, was on. The only thing I saw on really before was that one Seinfeld episode. Oh, want to get some pizza? Jared just kept fucking up. But anyways, I mean, she's great as the wife. Betsy Brandt. I think I said that right. I think it's 1 syllable. Yeah, she's great as Hank's wife as well. Dean Norris. I've seen him in a couple things here and there. I remember he showed up in a few episodes of Married with Children back in the day, and I always he still had that like same face, same whatever, same hair. But yeah, he was great in this as well. R.J. Mitty or Might, I think as you say it. Yeah. I mean, he looks like if the kid from Smallville had a kid. He was great in his role as the kid. And of course, there's so many others. Again, everybody just did their part on this show. I mean, it was fucking great. A lot of the characters got carried over. Obviously, you got Giancarlo Esposito, who's in Better Call Saul. Jonathan Banks, who. I mean, this guy has scared the shit out of me since I saw him in Beverly Hills Cop. I think it was number 2 I saw him in. I'm pretty sure it's number 2. Stephen Michael Quezada. Phenomenal cast, guys. Really, I mean, just a great show. But of course, you got Bob Odenkirk playing Saul Goodman, and of course, when you're dealing with crystal meth. And selling, lots of it and making millions and millions. Who do you got to have in your life is a crazy, fucked up, sarcastic, slick lawyer, and Bob Odenkirk, man, he fucking killed it. I mean, he was so good in this, so good that they decided to make a spinoff off this character, and when I first heard that, I mean, guys, how many spinoffs of shows have you seen, that have just failed? Okay, I mentioned, he was part of one there with Joey. I mean, then again, I was never a big Friends fan anyway, but still, I mean, most of them, they fail because it's like you're trying to recreate something that you already did and you're just saying the same thing again. And, it's a strong character maybe in this one show, but then it's like, can this character be a main character by themselves? You never know. But it was something that, the audience wanted. And clearly the writers, like I said before, they wanted him to, keep going with the character. They didn't want this character to die, so. And he was able to, not only prove himself in this series, but, in Better Call Saul as well. And he, it's, that alone, guys. I mean, the odds of being in one hit TV show, he was in 2 of them. And one of them, he's the lead guy. I mean, that's phenomenal. I mean, like I said before, this guy's been doing, I read off all the resume here, the writing, the acting. I mean, this, like if anybody deserves it, it's this guy, man. I mean, this is what makes the acting world worth it. Like this is why we want to see, like, I mean, for me anyway, this is why I want to see like people do well in this business. You know, not just because they got lucky or the right role and whatever, and that happens. And don't get me wrong, like I'm sure they're, appreciative too, of the opportunity. Of course they are. I'm not trying to take anything away there, but I'm just saying in general, like. This is a guy that has worked his ass off, and he's probably seen so many great actors and people just over the years. And, thank God for Vince Gilligan, seeing the talent in this guy and, knowing what this guy can do. And he killed it. I mean, like, even look at his look. Like, he's got the hair comb over, like the Bluetooth piece, which was, I mean, like very popular at the time. But at the time, like, let's just be honest. Like, if you saw somebody with that, like talking to themselves, for the next 2 hours, douchebag, And of course, Tom, he's playing a slimy lawyer, and he just plays it so fucking well. Like the way he acts, like even the way he sometimes like sits in the chair, and like look at his office too, like the office with like the old school pillars, and he's got the. Whatever the quote behind him there, but it's all bullshit. I mean, he's just like it really like they really play up the fact that just all like not all lawyers, but a lot of these lawyers are just scumbags. Like they don't care. I mean, they'll help you like bury or flush out money and keep it secret, and they don't give a fuck, man. They don't care, and like you really believe like. It's like when you watch Entourage with Ari. I mean, you really believe he's this guy. Same thing with Breaking Bad. Like, you really believe that Bob is this guy. I mean, it's crazy, man. And, this is such an excellent series. Not as good as Sopranos. I will say that to the day I die. But it is an excellent series. And, it's very rewatchable. And, it's really... It's really good. I mean, it's definitely one of the best TV shows. I mean, a lot of people couldn't get into it. I get that maybe it's not their cup of tea, but and people felt like the first couple seasons were okay, and then it really started to pick up like after the third season. But I loved it all. Like I said, I watched the first episode. Them in the desert. The first 10 minutes, I was hooked. I loved it. I thought it was great. Sometimes a show just grabs you, and that's it. My favorite part in this series, it doesn't involve Saul, unfortunately. I mean, he was great. Don't get me wrong in everything he did. But that one scene with the twins and Hank there in the parking lot, I remember sitting down, and actually, no, I wasn't sitting down. I was actually stood up at one point. I was just like, holy shit, what the fuck is going to happen? I mean, it was so well shot. I mean, Vince, yeah, you did a great job shooting that, and it made you feel like you were really right there. I mean, you really didn't know what was going to happen. Those twins, I don't know. I call them the Diaz brothers. It's a reference from Scarface there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Those guys didn't talk much either, but I don't know. Everybody was bald in that scene. I guess that was a requirement. But anyways, it was just so well shot. I mean, that's definitely one of the more standout scenes in my mind. But I mean, what a phenomenal series. I mean, it was a shame it had to end. And I don't know, to this day, it's like I played the clip before, what happened to Hank? We don't know. He was lying there. We don't know for sure he was dead. We just assumed he was dead. We don't know. I mean, they made the movie later about Jesse there, but still, is it possible that one day we will see, some kind of I'm not saying maybe they'll do the show again, another season, but maybe they'll have a movie based on, Walt, or, I don't know. We don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. So, sometimes I just wander around my apartment here and just, think of the good times, and, think of sometimes, in life, you just gotta make things simple, and sometimes they're just as simple as a bell. Ah! That was a classic scene too. I'm not gonna lie. Although the whole half face thing. I mean, I don't know if that was a metaphor, but whatever. The point is, actually, now I think about it, now it probably was awesome. But the point is, that old guy scared the shit out of me too. Ever since, yeah, again, he was in Scarface too. Remember, yeah, with the remote control in the car. Forget it. It could have ended better for him too. The point is, Breaking Bad is an excellent series. Bob Odenkirk was great as Saul Goodman. Everybody delivered on this show. It's just fucking awesome. I mean, if you haven't seen this show, I mean, I don't know what you're waiting for, you know. Again, 9.5, you know, it's good, but, you know, again, I'm thinking back to Top Gun Maverick here. I think we're, you know, overshooting it a little bit, you know, but all I'm saying is it is an excellent show. Definitely recommend it. So check it out. Last time, I swear. Then he did, was a Tim and, yeah, good segue. Then he did a Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. Trip Tank TV series. Then he was in a movie called Boulevard. That's right, he was in Fargo. Right, I forgot about that. Yeah, so Fargo, another great show. This is one of the better shows of the last couple of years, for sure. The first season of Fargo actually takes place right after the movie. So if you're a fan of the movie, you should definitely at least watch the first season. The seasons after that, they kind of go back and forth, but they all involve the town or city, whatever, Fargo. I enjoy it. They always have great actors in that one, so it's definitely worth checking out for sure. Like I said, if you're a fan of the movie, definitely watch the first season. It's very interesting to me. What happened to the money? Like, it does show what happened to the money that was buried in the snow. As being a half Greek guy, I think it's hilarious. But I don't want to say anything else. Tim and Eric's bedtime stories. Everybody loves a good bedtime story. The Birthday Boys, a TV series he did. Fuck it. I mean, this guy. Fuck it. Like, when is he shit? Hell and Back. Does the voice as the devil. Why not? Freak of Nature. Then he did with Bob and David, of course. Just haven't mentioned Mr. Show yet. I don't know. I guess they will coming up. Anyways, comedy Bang Bang. Dennis, a short he did. Girlfriend's Day, movie he did. More TV. Nobodies. Warm. I don't know, Warren, how do you spell it? W-Y-R-M? Okay. The Disaster Artist. That's right. Great movie. I know. James Franco. I know. But I like this movie a lot. It is a very good movie based on the very shitty movie The Room, which is based off the book. Blah, 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 blah. Well, it's not based off, I mean, they wrote a book on the making of that movie, and then this movie's based on that, all the ideas from that, and yeah, it's a very interesting story. Okay, so definitely check that one out for sure. Another movie, The Post, Drunk History, Incredibles 2, Lego, The Incredibles, Long Shot. Fuck, this guy, he sleeps, right? Dolomite Is My Name. He was in that, really? Okay, yeah, he's uncredited. Okay. He's in The Simpsons, of course. When your brother, I'm sure the brother helped him get a job, but why not? That's what good brothers do. The Kominsky Method, TV series he did. Little Women, Better Call Saul, Ethics Training with Kim Wexler. It's a TV miniseries, okay, which is obviously based on the show. We'll get into that. Corporate. Here we go. Nobody. No, we're not talking about Mel Lastman, Toronto mayor. He used to sell furniture. It's a whole and those moose statues in Toronto. What a waste of money. Listen. So picture John Wick. We all know who John Wick is, right? Okay. He's a dog lover. Somebody fucked with his dog. Now he's been getting revenge for the last 3 movies, and now another 2 movies coming up. So picture if John Wick was a normal guy that worked a 9-to-5 job, and then all of a sudden, his past comes back. And he has to go into basically soldier fight mode again. So this is basically, your friendly suburban, neighbor guy who all of a sudden has the skills of John Wick. And I use the term John Wick because it's the same writer who wrote John Wick. So On top of everything, this guy being skilled director, writer, and actor. Now he's an action star. Jesus Christ. I mean, Bob, is there anything you can't do? Madonna mia. I mean, listen, you got to see this movie. And I think they're going to make another one. I'm pretty sure. That seems to be the rumor. He's not playing a, greasy lawyer anymore. So I'm sure he's got more time in his hands. But this is a great movie. Go on YouTube and you can see the whole scene from the bus. I'm sure they put that out there, on purpose, just to tease people into the movie. Listen, I wanted to see this movie as soon as I saw the poster. Okay, I heard it was the same writer that did John Wick. Boom, that's it. So if you like John Wick, okay, you will absolutely love this movie. And you're probably thinking, how is Bob Odenkirk going to be a fighter and all that? Listen, he fucking delivers. He went into deep training for this. Okay, he took this very seriously. He knew if he fucked this up, he's not going to have another shot at this again. So he took it very seriously. And you know what? Like everything else he's done in his life, he's taken it very seriously. And he's great. He plays a character named Hutch Mansell. Almost sounds like a gigolo name. But it's really good, guys. So if you like John Wick, you will absolutely love this movie. Check it out. Of course, he doesn't sleep. He just keeps working. He's in a TV series, Mom, another TV series, No Activity. TV series, I Think You Should Leave, with Tim Robinson. Halloween Kills, which I believe is the new Halloween movie. Listen, I'm one of these people with horror movies. I love the original one, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. That's it. Child's Play. I like the first one. That's it. Everything else is overkill. I get it. You want to do shit for the new generation and whatever. And Rob Zombie has done some cool shit. Some cool remakes and all that. But it's too much. I don't know. I don't know. When Halloween comes, I'm gonna watch Monster Squad and Young Frankenstein. That's it. That's it. That's what makes me happy. Then another TV series, because of course he's only done 200. Chicago Party Aunt, another TV series. Sammy, Summer of Argyle podcast series. Undone, TV series. And of course, I did forget to mention, Mr. Show. Okay, now I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Now I think I mentioned this in a few podcasts before. I think it's one of these situations where, someone tells you to watch something and you don't watch the whole thing and you watch a few episodes here and there and you watch the wrong episodes. I think that's what happened with me and Mr. Show. And I'm not just saying that because Bob Odenkirk's stock has gone up, a shit ton the last 10 years. I did catch the wrong episodes. Like the earlier episodes, the first two seasons specifically are really good. That one episode that Jack Black is in, like I said before, is really good. My favorite sketch that they did, again, you can do a whole podcast just about this show, but they did one sketch, and I should have mentioned this in my podcast about the word cunt, is they use the word cunt, and the way they use it, they're trying to figure out how to say it in a certain way, in a certain situation, and how it's fine and how it's not fine. It's fucking genius. And after he said, or after I read the fact of saying he did Mighty Python and he loved that growing up, I can absolutely see that through the show. And the way they start the show too, it's very good with the live audience. They always include the audience. They always act, on stage, off stage, and, sometimes they pretend they're not there. Sometimes they're really not there. But it is really a good show. It's definitely worth checking out for sure. So, yeah. I feel like it was one. I remember one time I told my mom to watch Everybody Loves Raymond. It's a great show, and then she watched probably the worst episode of the series. No offense, to Raymond and everybody, but the one episode in the last season where the guy loses his keys. I don't know. They tried to do a Seinfeld thing where the show meant about nothing. It just didn't work. And she watched that, and I was, oh, you couldn't have watched the worst episode. And then I remember 6 months later, she's like, oh, me and your father started watching the show. Oh, it's fucking great. Oh, I love the mother. I'm like, yeah, because you pretty much are her. The point is, I love my mom. Don't worry, I love you. The point is, it is an excellent show, Mr. Show. Definitely check it out when you got a chance. It's great. It really is. So, yeah, great sketch show. I've been lucky to catch up on Ben Stiller's show, Dana Carvey's show, and Mr. Show during the pandemic. And I mean, yeah, obviously Saturday Night Live is still going on. Dave Chappelle's show. We all know what happened there. I mean, it's a classic series. We all know that. But yeah, man, we could use another good sketch show. Maybe some of these guys gotta come out of retirement and do one more season or something. But I'm just saying, like, we could always use more. The world could always use more funny. All right, so there you go. So, of course, the success of Breaking Bad. Okay, huge success, commercial success. Award success. Just, everybody's doing great after the show. Okay? Made Bryan Cranston a household name. Even Mr. Hopkins there, or Hoskins, Mr. Hannibal there, literally sent him a letter saying how good he was in this show. So that tells you something right there. I had it with some fava beans. Anyways. And then, of course, he gets a spinoff, Better Call Saul. And, his name is Saul Goodman, but his real name is Jimmy McGill. And you really find out, like, how fucked up this character really is. And I know you could say that about a lot of characters, but, really, again, you could do a whole podcast just on this show alone, but it really shows, he was basically born this way. He really was. And even in the last episode, there's a scene with him and Walter, Bryan Cranston. And, it just ends with Walter saying, so you were always like this, and that's it. Like, some toys just come out of the factory broken, it is what it is. I heard that on the show once. It's true too. But, yeah, like, he was always like this. And, it really, like, I mean, his whole character is just like, you just can't trust lawyers. I mean, look at all the shit he did. I mean, look at the shit he did with his brother. And that's something I really love about this show as well. And, like, him carrying on the show after Breaking Bad is that, again, a lot, I said this before, but I'm going to say it again, damn it. These comedic actors, or people that are known for more of their, comedy styles, they later they try to, or maybe they do, maybe they don't, but they want to prove, that they could do dramatic roles. And a lot of them can't do it. A lot of them just aren't taken seriously. And, with Bob Odenkirk, I mean, he just absolutely did just such a phenomenal job with this. I mean, the one scene I played before was probably my favorite scene in that last episode there, because it really just shows, like, I mean, the whole time you're thinking, like this isn't you. This is like, but like, we still, people in the courtroom are kind of, or not the courtroom, but in the side room there where they're trying to make a deal, whatever, with him for less time, whatever. They know deep down this is all bullshit, but at the same time, they know that he's so fucking smart and so good at what he does, is that, yeah, he's right. He's going to get away with this shit. Like, he's got enough information. Like, he's always like kind of a worst case scenario guy. If something bad goes down, he knows a plan that can either cover it up or just send him, to do the next thing, get him off scot-free or just with very little time or whatever. And, like, he knows just how to bullshit his way through. And that's what, and no offense to a lot of lawyers, but that's what a lot of your profession is just bullshitting and, like, believing in something that is not true, but it's your job. You have to go through it. And a lot of these guys, yeah, that's why they're, labeled ambulance chasers, and they call it that because as soon as they, feel someone got into an accident, they want to go after him and say, hey, listen, you could sue for this and blah, 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 And, for a while, you kind of got that vibe with, good old Jimmy here. But it was more than that. I mean, I think, like, he didn't even do it just to make a living. I think he really got off on it. And you find out, in the series that, he has a girlfriend. And, he thought he had a kind of a Bonnie and Clyde kind of thing. But it got to a point where she's just like, you know what? I can't do this. I am not you. I can't do it. And it's nothing personal. It's nothing like I don't hate you or whatever. I just can't be part of your world, you know? And I think we were all thinking to ourselves, like, what is going to happen to her? Like, is she going to, it's either one of two things. Either she's going to leave him or she's going to die. You know, the last couple episodes there, yeah, we thought she was going to die. You know, I thought even, you know, whatever, we're never going to hear of her again. He's going to have to live with the fact that, you know, he killed her too, and, you know, he's responsible for, you know, more bodies on the pile there, and, you know, but yeah, she, you know, got out of it, and yeah, he's still the same person, you know, and you find out like years later, and I want to say this too, the last couple episodes, you know, were done in black and white. Vince got a little criticism for that, you know, but at the same time, I don't think a lot of people understood what he was trying to do there. Like, a lot of times when you see black and white, it means more a flashback, you know, but in this case, it means, you know, the end is near. You know, in literature, black and white, they both mean death. You know, like, you know, snowfall comes, it's death. If the darkness is rising, it's death. Like, this is like a combination of both. So, you know, he's very close to the end, you know, but like, is he going to die? Is he going to go to jail? You know, like who knows what's going to happen to him? We don't know, you know. So we're watching this last episode and we're like, holy shit, like, is he, you know, he's more than likely going to get away with this, you know, or just spend a little bit of time, and he's going to be able to get his ice cream, you know, every day or whatever, and that's it. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm a little disappointed in this last episode. I felt almost the last minute, like he kind of changed his mind, and I'm reformed, and now I want to take responsibility for everything I've said. I've lied about everything, blah 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 blah. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it. I got to be honest. It would have been better if he just stuck to his plan and stuck to who he is. Like, I get it. They're trying to say, okay, anybody can change, and, you know, he's still the same mentality, I guess, but he knows what he did, and now he's in jail for 80 some years or something. And it just, I don't know. I wasn't buying it. I don't know. A lot of people say, again, you know, using the whole phrase, it was the perfect episode, like the perfect movie with Top Gun and Maverick. Fuck off. But I just wasn't buying it. I got to be honest. You know, for the most part, the series was really good. I mean, the first 3 seasons really good. The fourth one, and then the last couple were really good. But I don't know. I felt they should have ended with him just being himself. I mean, it seemed like last minute they, you know, and I get what they're trying to do there at the end there with, you know, the jail and him being on the bus there, and oh yeah, your soul, and they're all like chanting his name and everything, and you know, and it's kind of showing that he still has control in that environment. Like, I get that, but at the same time, like, he's stuck in there. He can't do what he loves to do, you know, and he hasn't been a lawyer for a while. I get that, but I don't know. I felt very last minute he changed. I don't know. It wasn't that much of a build-up, I don't feel. I mean, and the one scene where he was in the room in the kitchen there with Carol Burnett, you know, who you know, is a living comedy legend. We all know that. When he grabbed the phone wire, I was saying to myself, oh my God, is he gonna kill like Carol Burnett? Like, oh my God, like Bob won't be able to walk the streets after. Like, he killed a legend, man. I mean, dude, there's no way he's gonna like ever get away with that. So I was like, okay, thank God. I think they just did that just to fuck with the audience for a bit. But you know, it's like when Bruce Dern killed John Wayne years ago, and like he got interviewed like a year ago or something, and like they asked him like, oh, do you ever get bothered about that? And he says, oh yeah, some guy bothered me. And it is, like, was it recent? Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was last week. You know, the guy did this shit like what, 40, 50, 60 years ago, whatever. I mean, people still bug him about it. So, but yeah, thank God they didn't do anything there. But yeah, I just felt he changed his mind very quick. I don't know. I felt it would have been better if he was just himself, you know, like throughout the whole thing. Like, he never, you know, I was about to say, it's like literally didn't break bad. Like, he didn't, you know, because the whole term of Breaking Bad is that you're you're a good person, but you're trying to break bad out of like a tough situation, or you becoming bad. You know what I mean? So, and even the one episode was the third last episode, I think it was called Breaking Bad, and Bryan Cranston and Jesse there showed up again, and yeah, But yeah, again, not a lot of spin-offs get this kind of treatment, and again, Vince Gilligan did a great job with this. Michael McKean, again, I want to say him and Bob Odenkirk together as brothers, those were some of the best scenes together. Bob Odenkirk and Michael there. Fuck, just great. And again, like I said before about comedic actors doing dramatic roles. I've seen Michael McKean do a couple dramatic roles, but for the most part, he's part of the whole comedy thing. And he's on Saturday Night Live, and I've seen him in shows here and there, and But those two guys together, I mean, they really just proved, and I'm extremely proud of both those guys, that they did such a great job. Kind of coming out of their comedic shell, and obviously they've already proven that they can do dramatic roles. But those two guys, those are some of the best scenes together, And again, with this last episode, the scene that they had together at the end there, and it did wrap a lot of things, very well. And of course, he wanted the girlfriend to come back. I mean, she did a great job too, and I get it. He wanted redemption. He just wanted to say, you know what, I'm done with this shit. I can't do this anymore. I just want to. I admit everything I did. Let me just serve out the rest of my life in jail. Blah 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 blah. I do like at the end there how she was leaving the jail there, and then he just shoots out the guns there. I thought he's still the same guy. You know what I mean? So I get that, but. I don't know. I think it would have been cooler if he got away with it, I mean, not everything has to wrap up nicely and perfect, But it does make you wonder, though, what would that character, be like in jail? I mean, could you do a TV series about Better Call Saul in jail? Or instead of calling it that, call it I don't know, Jimmy McGill, or I don't know, call it Jimmy, or whatever, have him be his real person in jail. Maybe he's got to deal with shit inside. Maybe he's helping people, prisoners in there get their appeal. That could work. I mean, you never know. I'm just saying, if it does happen, I want a little credit. I just want to put that out there. But yeah, you never know. But again, I mean, this might be one of the best spin-offs of all time in TV, for sure. So, yeah, again, I mean, everyone did a great job. I mean, the actors that were in, some of them that were in Breaking Bad, carried over here. And again, I mean, Bob Odenkirk did a phenomenal job with this. I mean, yeah, really, really good job. Like I said, I would have liked to see his character be that person. But again, who knows? Maybe we could see Better Call Saul be a lawyer in jail. You never know. You never know. And the last thing he has coming up is apparently coming out in 2022 is a little thing called Worlds Apart, where he's playing a character named Jonathan Wigglesworth. And the poster is upside down. I don't know what's going on here. Life upside down. Okay, that makes sense. Director and writer Cecilia Mini Ushi. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. If it's Italian, I'm really sorry. I'm not sure, to be honest. Yeah. So, what is this? What is this movie about? It says 3 couples who know one another are stuck at home during the beginnings of lockdown. Ah, okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I called it. I said, listen, once this shit starts wrapping up, get ready for the next 5 to 10 years of pandemic-based movies. So here we go. Buckle in. Jonathan, Clarissa, and Paul will see their lives turned upside down, forced to look at each other, and ultimately at themselves. Okay, there you go. It's got, obviously, Bob Odenkirk. Radha Mitchell, Danny Huston, Rosie Fellner, Terrence Bernie Hines. Yeah. Okay. Well, let the pandemic games begin. So there you go. I'm not seeing anything about Nobody 2, but let's hope it happens. Okay, I'm just saying. I would very much like for that to be another one and another one. I'm turning into DJ Khaled. Listen, yeah. So Bob Odenkirk, I mean, holy shit, this guy's worked his ass off, man, as you can clearly see here. I mean, holy shit, this is insane. Even I had no idea he did this much stuff. I mean, like I said, I mean, one of the first things I ever saw him in was that Seinfeld episode. So who? If you told me back then this guy would do this much and has done this much, I would think you're fucking crazy. But he has. So I just want to say to Bob personally that you've turned yourself into a great actor. I mean, obviously writer, director. You've killed it. I mean, we all know that. But it's cool to see you in Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Nobody, and more things to come. So I'm really proud of you that you've turned this like comedic mentality into like a serious actor, and you prove to people out there that comics can be put themselves in serious roles on television and movies and just absolutely kill it. And it's phenomenal. Like it really is. I really am proud of this guy. Like he seems like a good-hearted, genuine dude, as you can see from the little part there from the Howard Stern interview. I mean, he seems like a really good guy. So, guys like that, you really like to, see succeed. So, worst case scenario, if you ever need to reach him, just pick up the phone and better call Saul. But that may never happen again. But worst case scenario, he goes by another name. Bob Odenkirk.
The name's McGill. I'm James McGill.